Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time we got the letter from Iwanako for the 4th time, and Kinji came and told us about the difference between a feminist and a female. So that was informative. For the first few days after I was back, I almost forgot that I was in student council. I managed to pick up here and there that the student council usually gets swamped with work around the end of the break, but it didn't have to be the case. A few times when I managed to catch Shizune or Misha, they were in too much of a hurry for me to get a chance to ask if they needed help. Anytime they weren't, I'd only be able to get a hold of Misha. Shizune would say something about how there was work, but it was so little that involving either Misha or I would only bore us. After a while, the idea of having some free time again had started to grow on me, though there were still periods when I felt like I had too much of it. Just when I was getting used to it, though, things changed again. Now I find myself back in the student council room arguing with Shizune about whether tissue boxes make good ballot boxes or not. I'm telling you, they work just fine, as long as we get the cube-shaped ones, not the rectangular ones. Misha, can you sign that to her? I kinda got my hands full. On second thought, forget it. She was busy cutting out ballot strips, so if she were to make one errant movement, she would probably send those scissors flying into someone's head. I drop the box of poster paints I'm carrying onto the little table in the student council room and cough as a wave of dust hits me in the face. It really has been a while. Do you think we should change the size of the ballot slips?
What? But Shi-chan, I already cut out so many of them.
We can make them smaller. It will be more efficient. We just have to shrink the font. More ballots will fit in a single box that way. We'll only need half the amount of paper then. The format for voting can be changed, but the format for voting could be changed. It could be more like a real election. Then we might be able to get away with buying less boxes. With the money left over, we can get pizza or maybe Chinese, or a cake, or 3 bowls of the new ramen bowl I want to try. Shizune excitedly rubs a finger along the frame of her glasses as she ponders more ways to cut even a half a yen of spending off our budget. Since I think she is the only one who even knows what our budget is, I'm scared to ask just how tiny it is for her to have to do this. What about all the ballot slips Misha already cut out? Don't worry. I can make them into memo pads and sell them in the school store.
Shi-chan, they don't look very cute though.
Shizune seems to disagree, and now they're arguing. But it looks like it consists of nothing more than signing yes they do and no they don't at each other until they are so tired of it that they're just taking turns pointing at each other commandedly. It's strange, partly because it looks kind of ridiculous, but also because I've never seen them disagree. Then again, both of them have looked very stressed these past few days. Shizune has been increasingly absorbed in the idea of student council elections, though they're months away. I imagine this is how politicians act when they realize a regime change is imminent and their era is over. I'm having trouble taking student council matters seriously at all, even now as I practice my calligraphy on signs that won't go up for weeks, but I can understand why Shizune does. After all, she has been student council president for 3 years, according to her dad. She has wanted the job for even longer. I guess 3 years is too short a career for her to leave feeling satisfied. Did the last student council go through this much trouble to make it a smooth transition for you? Shizune makes a chagrined face that tells me they weren't very helpful at all. I guess you're doing all this to set a good example then.
That only comes into play if they learn anything from it, Shi-chan. If they don't, I'll be hyper mad. If they turn out to be the flaky type, I'll definitely be hard on them.
It doesn't sound very threatening when Misha is saying it. So you've already met them?
Shi-chan, there are no candidates yet.
What? None?
Not even for student council president.
That is why I'm trying to drum up interest for the position. What do you think? She probably holds up a poster she has been working on herself. It looks very, military. You might be taking this a little too seriously then. Shizune frowns and plays with her glasses, offended. Is that weird? Yes. She looks oddly happy that I'm disagreeing with her, and I think that if she weren't genuinely focused on what she was doing, she might try to argue with me just because it would be interesting to her. Oh god. Arguments are not fun. Why would you argue? Why would you start an argument to start an argument? What's weird about it? It looks like she will do that after all, but then Shizune waves her hand dismissively like she is trying to catch the words in the air and delete them. Instead, she catapults into insulting her future successors. Well, one thing that's weird is that in my old school, the elections would happen in about 6 months since, we're graduating in March. It's pretty weird to think about them so early. It's a little different here.
Meh. He-chan, I'll be discouraged if we don't have any replacements when I have to go, She-chan says. But it isn't like the school will stop running without a student council. It will be harder for them to hand out forms, though. Ha 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 ha!
Shizune isn't laughing, however. Misha's joke causes her to flinch as if she were stung. Though Misha didn't mean for it to come out that way, her quip had a callous cruelty to it in the end. I'm trying to get more people to run, but everyone is so lazy. They think they can take it easy just because there are no deadlines yet. Slackers. Not taking the early game advantage. Still 6 months away. If they aren't making their move now, they don't deserve a vote.
Do they really think it's such an easy job that they can do everything at the last minute and just coast into the role? Insulting! Really, really. They're going to be eaten alive once they have to sit at this tiny desk and see just how much work they have to do.
Didn't she take up much of the, most of the work? Doesn't student council in the school doesn't really have to do anything unless they want to? If this were a real election, they would be in deep trouble. I was reading about Japanese campaign laws the other day, only the bad ones for some reason. For a second, Shizune was talking like her father there, and it was coming out of Misha's mouth. Creepy. Well, first off, Shadow Shogun, you can't really make that call. They'll be elected. Second, it's just a school election. It's not like running for city council or the diet. I don't think Japanese campaigning laws apply. Third, although I don't want to say it, I'm nervous that Shizune is so enthusiastic about this talking of elections and votes. According to her dad, she wasn't even elected herself. Come to think of it, I can't remember Shizune ever saying she was elected either. Then, did she get this position by being recruited into the student council and having it fall apart until she was the only one left? Somehow I'd never considered it. I don't know how to think about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. We're only 3 people strong now. The circumstances behind her becoming the student council president were that sad. I wonder if there would be a vote at all. Interest could just be that low or non-existent, really. Then all her energy would be going towards nothing. I slap an exclamation mark at the end of the poster I'm working on. It's a little plain, so I think adding one is okay. Actually, it still might be a little too plain. I make the mark twice as large. I still say you need to slow down. If this stuff isn't going to be relevant for months, maybe you're working a little too hard on it. That's what I think. You're worrying too much. I don't know how to sign the word relevant. I try and only end up flicking a long line of paint where I didn't intend to. There's no way I can fix that. Misha, can you ask her that? Shizune giggles silently, clenching her teeth so that no sound actually comes out. Because there's a lot to worry about. Like what? Like, usually the boxes end up looking very pretty, so people take them. Have to plan for that.
Ha ha ha! We should make them funny looking this time. Then so no one will want to take them. How about that, Shi-chan?
We can draw some weird faces on them, or we can put a little picture of Shizune on each one saying stealing is wrong.
No, it's not funny. It's not the only problem either.
There's a voter turnout, of course. And the worst case scenario would be not having any candidates. Although it seems she meant it jokingly from the way that she smiles as she signs it, that isn't how it comes out. Even Misha understands that the possibility is very real. And though she tries to salvage the mood by punctuating Shizune's statement with a laugh, it doesn't work.
Nah.
What's wrong with the both of you? I was just making a joke. There actually is some interest this year. If there wasn't, would I be doing all this work? I'm not stupid. When the elections are over, I'll buy everyone dinner. I'm already planning on it. Even the new student council? No, they can buy their own celebration dinner. It will only be for the current student council. I'll be happy once I'm through having to do these thankless jobs all the time.
Dinner for just us? Yay! It's like a little party, Shi-chan.
Though her cheerfulness is obviously forced, I say nothing. For the rest of the period, which fortunately isn't very long, we work in silence. After classes, I find the student council room locked. It's strange because Shizune was so busy earlier that I would expect her to continue working after school. It would be what she would normally do. Maybe she listened to my suggestion and decided to take a break. I'm hoping it's that simple. Feeling a little uneasy, I take a brief stroll around the school. It's only half conscious. I can't remember when I started moving my feet, but I've already covered enough of the campus that I'm starting to feel tired. Not that that means anything by now. Just a short stroll around the school grounds and I'm already winded. Really pathetic. Before I know it, I'm back in front of the student council office. There's someone else too this time.
Hi, Hi-chan.
It's locked. Seeing a can of lemonade in her hand, I reflexively start looking for a vending machine nearby. I'm so thirsty.
I know that, Hi-chan. Shi-chan is somewhere else, I guess.
Weird.
We aren't stuck together, Hi-chan.
Misha takes a long drink from her lemonade, eventually just tipping it over and pouring the rest into her mouth. I feel like I'm being mocked.
Do you want one, Hi-chan? Guess you'll have to go buy one by yourself.
No, it's okay. I can't take someone else's drink, it's rude. Besides, you're making fun of me, aren't you? I just saw you inhale all of that.
I have another one in my bag. I was prepared. See? I'm just like Shi-chan.
Oh no. She is trying to be like Shi-chan. No, Misha, baby. You don't have to. She's a little too prepared. It's good some of that is rubbing off on you anyway. After what, 2 years? The way she stares at me as I drink it is a little disconcerting, but I'm too grateful to care that much about it. You and Shizune always end up treating me to something. It's starting to embarrass me.
Really, Hi-chan? Buy me lunch sometime then, okay? Then we'll be even.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I was going to ask if you wanted to eat in town.
Yeah. I'm really hungry today, Hi-chan. Thanks.
Yesterday, I was going to ask her yesterday. Misha cuts me off before I can finish the sentence, and I can't find an opening to correct her as she dashes enthusiastically around me, laughing, her arms flapping excitedly at her sides. I feel like this is going to be sad, and I don't like that. I already have my wallet with me, so I start walking towards town with Misha trailing behind me, playing idly with her hands and loudly wondering to herself where we would go eat. At least I think so. She could be asking me. Do you have anywhere specific where you want to go?
I want to go to the tea house. They have really big parfaits there.
I saw you eat a parfait there last time. It looked really big.
No. This one is really, really big. It's also really expensive, and since you're buying it, I'm getting 2.
Really, really expensive?
A little.
Geez, well, you and Shizune paid for my food a bunch of times, so it's fine.
Hi-chan, I don't think I ever did that. Are you sure it wasn't just Shi-chan?
Are you really arguing against a free meal? Don't worry about it. We go to the Shanghai and are seated by a waitress who is surprisingly not Yuko. Misha is very eager to eat that parfait because she shouts her order as soon as she walks through the door. When it arrives, I can see that it is both very big and very expensive looking.
Aren't you going to order anything, Hi-chan? If you're hungry, we can share.
Nah, I don't like parfaits. I don't like the praline. Pralines? The little sugar pecans? Pralines are good, but you need to have them in things.
You can pick it out.
You can't just pick out praline. Don't be silly. Maybe it's not a praline. I don't know what praline is. Praline. I shall use the Google machine when I am done. Even if I could, Misha is mashing her food together to the point where it is no longer possible. It also looks kinda gross. I wonder if that many flavors can even blend together well. Can she really taste anything in that goop? She's acting like it's delicious anyway.
Parfaits are the best. I have sensitive teeth, so ice cream is a no-no. Cake is too soft though, so if there's too much icing I get bored. Parfait is interesting. How many cafes have parfaits here? I think 10. I've tried them all. I like this one the best. It has little flan.
You sound like you're some kind of dessert expert.
Not just dessert. I want to eat all kinds of delicious things.
Me too. But I have a dreadful confession. I want to eat delicious things, but I'm also very picky. It is a sad, sad dual life I must live with my pickiness.
Someday I'll have enough money to buy a 2-kilogram Matsusaka beefsteak.
That's like over 100,000 yen. I guess that kind of decadent food is kind of your hobby then, huh? A hobby isn't something that should take months to learn about someone. I've been very rude in retrospect. Also, that is one pricey hobby. Most hobbies are kind of pricey.
I guess so. Decadent?
Yeah. Misha giggles, raising her hand to her face. It looks like some ice cream accidentally got on her nose. She doesn't notice it. She doesn't notice it. I can't stop noticing it. I wish she would wipe it off. I'm about to tell her about it, but she suddenly says,
I don't know what that means.
Oh, I guess that's a bad word anyway. It has implications. Epicurean is better. It means someone who enjoys eating nice food. There's the adjective though, so epicure is the word for it.
Hee-chan, you're too wordy.
Sorry, I used the dictionary.
Ha, I think that is what Shi-chan likes about you.
Because I'm wordy? I'm going to buy us some thesauruses then.
Ha, no, not like that, Hee-chan.
I decided to order some coffee after all, but it takes a while to get the waitress to notice, and I think actually getting my coffee will take about as long. The tea shop is filling up. No surprise as we've already been here for almost an hour while she was chipping at that dessert. I order my coffee to go, but Misha orders one as well, so it seems that we're going to be here longer than I thought. I really wish it was that easy. It's hard to talk to her lately.
Shi-chan's been busy because of the elections.
I know we can't have fun all the time, it's just that there's a lot I want to say to her, I think. I always screw up when the time comes, though, and I don't even have the time now, because of the elections. They're not for a while, though.
Hee-chan, do you think that Shi-chan is avoiding you?
Misha sounds angry. That's to be expected, but I don't feel that way at all. No?
Is that so?
The dreamy way in which she says it makes me think that Misha's disappointed with my answer. In that case, it could be how she feels. I'm uneasy asking such a question, but I trust Misha would answer it honestly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dream of it. Do you?
No, of course not, Hee-chan. But it's frustrating sometimes. Shi-chan has so much energy and is always trying to make people feel as excited about things as she is. But it's like Shi-chan doesn't know how to handle things when everyone gets really hyped up, or I think she wants to make sure nothing goes wrong. When I want to help out, Shi-chan always pushes me away. It's frustrating. I'm just overthinking it probably, right?
Misha takes a big gulp of her cup of coffee, then sticks out her tongue.
Ow, hot! Thought it would have cooled down by now.
Has it really been that long? I checked my watch. It hasn't been very long at all. Looking outside, the sun is starting to set. Not really. It got dark out pretty quickly today, though, so I could understand why you might think that. At my words, Misha looks outside and yawns almost immediately. She looks sleepy. That's funny, because... Are you sleepy? You were wide awake like just 2 seconds ago.
I feel tired when it gets dark, Hee-chan.
She's a bird! She's a bird confirmed! Hey, you can't say the thing I said. Hisao, stop! That's cheating! Just like that? Are you a bird? Who told you? I pick up my own coffee and have a sip. It's not very hot at all, but very tasty. I down it as quickly as possible because now I want to get back to my dorm room as well. Misha tries to emulate me, but it's too hot for her. She says she has sensitive teeth, so maybe that's why. While I wait for her to finish, I start to wonder what she meant back then about Shizune liking something about me. Suddenly I'm very curious, but dragging that back up now feels like an unnecessary action. I try to weigh the option again, but am interrupted by Misha slamming her empty cardboard cup down on the table with a loud pop.
Done!
She lets out a short laugh, seeming very pleased with herself, kind of like a toddler. I wonder if she had that drill-shaped haircut when she was little too, or was it something more like her current look? It would make more sense. I guess we should head back then. I can't see the waitress. Try not to fall asleep while I pay for the sundae, okay?
Not a sundae, it's a parfait, He-chan. Wahahaha.
I don't know what the difference is. You have ice cream on your nose. That seems spiteful. And it's been there for so long.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so me and Misha went on a friend date, I guess, and we went and talked about our concerns with Shizune, and how she's kind of pushing people away, or she's so busy and she doesn't have time for us. And I guess that's kind of it. And maybe we will see what Shizune's deal is in the next video.